The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters was originally broadcast on January 20th, 2026.
Welcome to Business Matters, brought to you by the Maui Chamber of Commerce. Now here's your host, the president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, Pam Toompop. Good morning, Pam. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, Gary. I am wonderful. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. It's nice, cool weather down here, and, can't get any better. Good sleeping weather, they call that.
Good sleeping weather. It has been really cool up country. However, we have been walking around wearing socks in the house, which I don't think I've done for years.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm in Honolulu this morning.
Oh, wow. So it's not that cold in Honolulu.
No, it's not that cold in Honolulu. And it wasn't raining either.
Okay.
So. Yeah, it is fabulous. I've just got a quick note from our first guest too. So she's questioning the number to call in. So let me just let her know that you're trying to reach her. But yeah, it's a beautiful day, and I'm actually here because this week is the opening of the legislative session, which means we have a lot of activities centered around gearing up for the opening. It's also the Chamber of Commerce of Hawaii has what they usually call Chamber Week. This year they have Chamber Week Thorough. They have a lot of activities going on to help people learn more about what's happening on the political realm, not only here in Hawaii, but also at the national level, and talk about key issues as they move forward with a blueprint that they propose, much of which, we share a lot of the same things. They have different industries here on Oahu and some of the other neighbor islands, like a military presence and others that we don't have on Maui. But we have many common goals, and so today we're here to kick off the week with them, starting with some of the first activities, and they'll be going on all week long. So for those of you listening, we are thrilled to have you join us today. Gary is trying to connect with Toni Davis, who is with the Activities and Associations, Activities, A3H Activities and Associations. It sounds like we've got Toni. Excuse me for just a moment. Okay, yes. I was just about to hear a little bit about it, and I could hear the little bit of a hiccup. So perfect. I can hear Toni on. So Toni Davis is the Executive Director of the Activities and Attractions Association of Hawaii, known as A3H. She has been doing this for my notes say the past 28, but I'm sure we're in a new year, so it's probably close to the last 29 years. But she's been doing it since, because it'll be 30 years in 1997. So she has led A3H advocating for Hawaii's destination experiences for the providers who provide them, focusing on consumer protection and sustainable tourism practices. And under her leadership, A3H has grown to represent over 100 businesses statewide. It is a statewide organization. She is the president and founder also of Kula Software Systems, Inc., which is amazing. I still haven't seen it, but we keep talking about it. One day I'm going to get up there and see it. It's called Pono Res, which is a web-based reservations platform that so many activities use. She also has a bachelor's degree in physics and an MBA from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. She combines technical experience with a commitment to community and environmental stewardship, and she serves with me and the many others on the Maui Nui Destination Management Action Plan Steering Committee, working to contribute to sustainable tourism initiatives across the we work on the Maui County and Maui Island primarily, but the Destination Management Action Plans are statewide, and so we also give a little bit of have a little bit of overreach there with suggestions for statewide activities. Good morning, Toni. How are you this morning?
Aloha kakakiaka. Thanks for that great intro. I'm
You're very welcome.
I'm just getting my coffee and grateful to be here. It's another beautiful day in paradise, and all is good.
Absolutely. And aloha kakakiaka to you as well. It is a beautiful day.
It is. It really, really is. Yeah, so the stuff going on over here in my neighborhood of in-destination experiences is Maui's down and Oahu's down, which has the state's attention because Oahu's down. They don't as much get, although I apologize for that, our dear government state people. They did give that $6 million in marketing infusion last year, which was helpful for Maui. But we are slowly and surely, moving ahead. I'm trying to bring to the attention of the powers that be that market the state that they are they should be focusing on direct business for these small businesses. What happens when people think of tourism, they think of hotels, airplanes, rental cars. Excursions are something that people do. It's a optional, right?
Right.
So it is not necessarily top of mind. But in my opinion, and it's not just because this is what I do, but if you look at a person from another place coming to this place and exploring and learning,
right,
experiences are the most important thing. Where people lay their head and sleep at night is a little bit more arbitrary. But what people do when they engage with this place, it's our responsibility. And culturally, that's where I think for a long time we were missing the cultural immersion, and people noted that, and I think we went a little too far in some ways because people don't necessarily want to come here and, pay to come and help somebody. Necessarily. There are people that definitely will do that and come and help on a volunteer basis and not necessarily pay to volunteer. That, we have those return visitors that have come year after year after year. Unfortunately, so many of them are now going to Kauai after the fires. And
you mentioned that too. I was recently talking to somebody, actually just yesterday on the plane, and they were telling me that, again, about Kauai, that they're going to Kauai and they're having amazing cultural experiences there. And it was, it's funny, they'd always come to Maui, but now people have moved to Kauai, and I'm hearing that more and more.
Yeah, I went to Kauai in November and visited several in-destination experiences. And I didn't ask them to share their, graphs with me regarding visitors and where they were financially, but they offered, or they just showed me. They didn't offer. They just showed me because they were so elated at the huge peak they have. And where they've been able to sustain it. And if you look at the graphs, it all happens in August and September when the fires happen. And they've pretty much been able to sustain that, which I'm happy for them. It's great. It's, what I recently I did in December, I gave a presentation to the HTA board. I was talking with Jimmy Tokioka, the director of DBED, and shared with him how, the situation that Maui and Oahu are very much down when it comes to in-destination, and you're not seeing it as a state because everybody is reporting, expenditures are up. But what happens with DBED has a fabulous database, a fabulous interface where you can slice and dice the data however you want. The only problem with it is it takes in-destination experiences and it spreads it out into a lot of different categories. So to actually focus on the industry that I represent, you have to manipulate the data a bit and pull things together. And I was able to pull that all together for the HTA board, and the graphs were stunning. It showed Oahu, and I just did it on the average daily spend and showed how nosedive on Oahu and Maui, and it's gone up on Kauai and Big Island. It hasn't gone up a huge amount. It's pretty stable. the issue with that is Oahu and Maui are almost 3/4 of the expenditure income. So for them to be down, it's something that the state's not catching, right? And we're between a rock and a hard place because the normal marketing is more people, more money, right? And we know we don't want more people necessarily. We don't, unless we improve our infrastructure. I always remind people, over tourism, go someplace where there's a huge population, and you will come back to Maui and be like, wow, nobody's here. There's this frame of reference that people forget. And
go to Japan and take a look at how many people are on the tours with you.
Yes,
Shocking.
Exactly.
Shocking.
Or go to India and
never been.
It's the thing is, over tourism is two things. One is too many people. That's the obvious. The other is lack of proper infrastructure for the amount of people that are there. So if we could improve our infrastructure, keep our counts to a place where, go back to the Maui plan where it's, the percentage of visitors is, do you remember what it is? I want to say it's below 4 out of 10 people every day or 5 out of 10 people every day are visitors on the island at any one time. It's nice. I mean, those of us that live here, it needs to be balanced. Absolutely. So what my big information that I'm trying to impart to the state right now is you could increase expenditures, the money that stays in the state, if you helped these in-destination companies, which are all residents, they live here, they're stakeholders of this place, help them get more direct business. Because these OTAs are taking, 25% is a screaming deal. Some of them are taking, over 35. 35 is pretty standard. Usually if you go to work with a large OTA is online travel agent. Goodness, there's so many things. All these acronyms. It's an online travel agency. For example, Expedia, Viator, Get Your Guide, all of those big conglomerates, right? And we Kayak on the other side, but they take a huge piece of that revenue, huge piece. And activities and attractions throughout the state in 2024 was a $2.4 billion. I'm saying $2.4 billion. And that's conservative, and that's because I was slicing and dicing, and I didn't want to be exaggerative with the numbers. But it's a significant piece, and if they would just 35% of that, think about that. If they would turn that around and have a market that is helping these residents that live here, that employ people that are having a horrible time because of, the housing issues. I mean, the housing issues for a small business here makes it super difficult to hire anybody, because where are they going to live?
That's why housing is, it's the economy and housing. And I always say it's 1A and 1B on any given day. They're both so critical right now for our people. And the situation is, we've been saying since 2014 and 2017 and 2019 when we did.
Right. Way before all this became under the.
Now it's worse, right? After the wildfires with the loss of all those homes, it's exacerbated. But I am loving, when you talk about this, and I'm so glad you showed the data, and I'd love to get some of this data and share it with our members as well.
I'm excited. You know what, Pam, when I do 2025, I'm going to share. I'll share it with you, because I didn't know. It's kind of like you're doing a new recipe, and you're just making it up as you go, but you kind of have a good feeling of where it's going to end up, but you're not really sure. And then all of a sudden, I was like, boom, put it to a graph. Oh my gosh!
Well, and with your
the
technical
data says what I'm hearing,
what you're
from
feeling and hearing. Yeah. Well, I'm hearing it every day too, and it reminds me of when we went into the legislative session after the wildfires. The West Maui Taxpayers Association for decades kept saying Lahaina is a crown jewel in the state. It generates so much state revenue. But given the way that they were looking at the data, lumping things together, across the state, after the wildfires, and we were at the legislative session, they were like, they had no idea. They said, oh my goodness, we've lost this crown jewel. And they realized the impact that Lahaina had in terms of income that, contributed to the state coffers statewide. And now they really have a better experience and understanding of that. When you were there, did you also talk about, I've had a lot of comments on the sort of branding, Hawaii stays with you. And I'm calling for Maui-specific messaging because I think we desperately need Maui-specific messaging at this point.
Yeah, I'm not one. There's always this group that's a loud minor, a loud small number of people voice that overrides things, that is always crying to go back to, right, in time.
Yeah.
And I am always going like, we can't do that. We need to be progressive. We need to be progressive. But there is a huge part of me when it comes to the marketing of this state that wants to go back, not all the way back to plantation days, but I want to go all the way back to John Kanahele days, the early outrigger days, where there was this recognition that this whole state is a crown jewel. And we have the responsibility of taking care of this place and ensuring that it is loved and shared with people that come to visit. And we manage their visit while they're here, and we implant into them the spirit of aloha, so that when they leave this place, they get the, it's not a us versus them, it's a we. We're all connected. We all need to be conscious of each other and present in the moment. There's so much beauty that we don't see in our everyday lives because we've got our heads down and we're just doing whatever we're doing. And you can do what you're doing and actually appreciate the beauty at the same time, and it makes it so much more enjoyable. It's and it actually, I learned this when I paddled canoe for years and years. Went to state lots of times. Anyway, I'm not going to brag about my thing, but I loved paddling. And paddling has so many analogies about life. And one of them that I love is you go slow to go fast. And it's absolutely true. We need to get everybody aligned. And I would like to go back to those days, though, as far as marketing goes, where it is, in some ways I think we've taken the extraordinary and made it simple and ordinary. And I don't want Hawaii to just be another, beach, sun, place to go. We need that cultural piece. We don't need to bring with it a lot of the sadness and wrongful acts of people in the past that I don't think any of us can be held responsible for. We need to go forward together and move this place, forward with those principles, right? With the principles of aloha and kuleana and ho'okipa and malama, all of those beautiful Hawaiian pillars. Anyway.
Absolutely. Well, and to your point, again, the aloha spirit is deep. When we go back to aloha and those other principles of ho'okipa and kuleana, those are very deep. Those are not shallow terms. Those are really
exactly. I think that's kind of what gets done with the George Kanahele, is it gets glassed over like, that was commercializing our culture, or there's a term for it. I haven't had enough coffee to tell you it, but and it's not. It's not. It's honoring it. I mean, I have nothing. My Hanai father is 100% Hawaiian. So I got exposed to Hawaiian culture, albeit he was not deep in his culture, but he is 100% Hawaiian and was exposed to his family to a degree. And I see that beauty of that culture. I look at the culture that's in Hawaii, and one of the things that I love about the culture is it's multifaceted. The culture that I know of as Hawaii is not just Kanakamole, the people that were here before the plantation missionary people, but it's that mosaic that is what is beautiful. That's what this world needs. That's a we. That's the we of Hawaii. Is all of those cultures: Japanese, Filipino, Chinese, European. It just together.
All the different influences. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was experiencing too when I first moved to Maui. Is I had several Hawaiian families who took me in, and of course, everybody had some mix. Not everybody was 100% pure Hawaiian in those families. They were Hawaiian, many from Hana, many from other areas, and across the island. But they were mixed, and while they grew up with different cultures because they were mixed, and had so many other ethnicities in their background and family and friends, but they still had that overarching aloha spirit that they shared, and that was the framework for their lives.
The hospitality that I experienced was just wow. The love. I mean, you just feel it. Yeah. It's not necessarily it's not what people do, it's how they make you feel. And that beauty of being accepted and looked after and recognize that you're the new person that maybe you feel a little awkward in the moment and just coveting you. I mean, that is our role. That's aloha spirit. That is what we should be doing with these visitors that come here. And I'm not sure that we've gotten that completely. There has been a lot of focus on educating the visitor who comes here, and I think we need to just as much put emphasis on educating our residents on the benefits of a visitor industry economy. I mean, I often hear people say, like it or hate it, it's what we got, but wow, they don't get it. This is where people make money in a different place. They take that money. They even save that money for a lifetime bucket list trip, right? And then they come to this place and they inject that money. That is the economic model of an export business. Our role is to protect this place while they're here and protect them while they're here.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And we've lost that education years ago. I mean, even before I started working at the Chamber, and it's coming on 20 years this year, even before then, when I was running Maui United Way. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's coming up soon.
It feels like Lynn was there just the other day, but yeah.
Yeah, it feels like just But while I was at Maui United Way and running Maui United Way, there was this touted video. And I think it goes
the dollar or the $20 bill. Was it the $20 bill?
The dollar, and nobody can find that video. But it ran in the community, so the community could understand how the visitor industry benefited them each and every day, and circulated in the community, and why the visitor industry was so important. Why we put all of our eggs in this basket and leverage this industry to create many other industries that support our community every day. So when COVID hit and we couldn't go out and we couldn't support those industries, we saw huge challenges. Just not only in our economic data and the loss of income, but in the fabric of our lives. right? From the farmers. Oh, thank you, Gary. He's letting me know we're getting close. From the farmers to the restaurants to retail to activities, especially activities. But I think we really need to go back to that education, because you and I listen to a lot of testimony.
Yeah,
and we are concerned about the overspill of the visitor industry and the effects it's having on our community and the infrastructure. And we're constantly working on those things. But what I hear is a real lack of knowledge about what the visitor industry brings and contributes to our community and our state.
It's a gift. It is a gift to any community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is a gift, and it is not looked at as a gift. And it is. It's just that we've done a poor job. We've done a poor job at managing. And we've lost sight of the George Kanahele role of, we have a role here to take care of these people when they come, and more importantly, to instill them with the aloha spirit, so that when they leave this place, they bring that beauty that is so easily obtained here, because nature is so, I want to swear, amazing here, that it's just stunning. It is just so stunning. And to me, I mean, I am a very spiritual person, and I relate that to God. And I feel that presence when I'm in nature more than any place else. And I've never felt closer to God than here at home. I recently went to Oahu for a go visit and talk to HDA and DBED and just some legislators. And I also saw my nephew's daughter play volleyball. There's a big volleyball tournament going on over there, and there's a focus now to look at sports and bringing families over. I would hope, and I think that's a great. I think it's a great venue. It's a little niche market that I think is probably hasn't had a lot of attention, and I think it's a good place to go. But more than that, we need to remember our role when people come to visit. And I don't mean our role like the marketing people. I mean everyone. I mean everyone who lives here. Our role. We all have a role in this. We're part of this industry, whether we know it or not. I remember when the crash happened in 2008, and Marsha Weiner kept including this in her speech. She's like, the guy that at the gas station, who's my friend there at Kula Ace, and every time I'd go down there and I'd fill up, he'd just, say, how's it going? And he, when I've gone down recently, he's like, where is everybody? How come nobody's filling up with gas? I don't understand. And she goes, well, the people who are filling up with gas here at your gas station, a lot of them probably worked at the hotels. They live in Kula and they take their cars to, and he's like, well, I didn't realize that I was in the visitor industry. And she's like, everybody that lives here is part of this industry. You are going to be affected when a downturn happens. And it, just in general in life, we make a bigger difference, which if you boil it down, what is this life all about? It's about touching other people in a way that makes a difference and makes this world a better place. And brings love, right? So really, if we have that piece as our one of our purposes, one of our main purposes in life, and we make that be top of mind, Maui will do really well. And we just have to remember that we gain so much more together than we do being adversarial. It's just a shame to see the small-mindedness that exists, and we can eliminate it. We just need to work on it and come together and go slow to go fast.
That is very well said. Well, we are going to have to go in a little bit, but before I let you go, this is also something near and dear to both of our hearts, which is the reopening of the Lahaina Harbor. Share a little bit about what you're seeing and experiencing. I can tell you, I sit with the Harbor Group, who's part of the Maui Economic Recovery Group, and there's a special subcommittee working on this, and there were more slips expected than we've been receiving, and it's going really slow. Tell me what's happening in your world as you work directly with the boat operators in this area?
Well, I'm excited that we're going to have a new chair of DLNR. Ryan, do you know his last name? I've heard it, but I apologize. It's not a common last name.
I've been in Honolulu, so I can't look it up at the moment in my notes. But yeah,
but I've learned from others that know him that he is a really fine leader. He's a servant leader. He is a big picture guy. He's young. He's got a lot of energy and wants to make a difference, which is fabulous. I look forward to having a relationship with him. I think that so much in our government is a top-down. You see the characteristics and the culture that get imparted from whoever is at the top in our government, and it is it's hope. I have hope. Right now, it's a little. There's like a walking on eggshells. It closes at 6. You better be there at 6 or 6:30, or you're what? I don't know what happens to a boat if they don't get back by 6 and out of there by 6:30. But it's
very regimented.
It's extremely regimented.
You're dependent on the weather. Things can happen for safety reasons. You might have to slow down.
We've had bad storms. I mean, it's when that harbor first opened, boats were in the harbor with what's called a Tahitian tie-up. Where there weren't any mooring piers or any of that kind of stuff. They could do that today. It's having a date of that harbor really being open as 2020. Is it 2027? You're on the committee. You know more than I do, I'm sure. But
well, yes, but we were supposed to get 15 slips. It came down 15 slips by December, and with the reopening, only 3 were able to start. And part of that was a slip issue. And
there's actually 4 that are going. But,
they've added now. Yeah, but we're way short of 15. And to your point on Tahitian tie-ups, one of the things that we've asked Jimmy of DBED to do, and he said he would do it. I got an interesting message the other day, so I need to follow up with him, because the issue was whether the governor's proclamation overarched the DOBAR rules. So whether it overarched the rules on how the department is allowing things to happen from an emergency standpoint, and whether we could do those kinds of patient tie-ups. So we have temporary moorings or other temporary moorings, but we could have temporary moorings with, and in some cases, temporary tie-ups have been allowed. But we've had cases where one person wasn't ready to start and has the mooring and wanted to offer it to somebody else on a temporary basis, and we were told that couldn't be done. And then we have other.
Well, the people that are running are people that didn't have moorings inside the harbor. The only people that are running are people who have moorings outside the harbor. That was all that it was open to, because they don't want moorings in the harbor overnight. Although they were in the harbor overnight unmanned when we had the recent storms. It's. I mean, if you can, there are people who have moorings, have slips, that are not operating.
To get back in.
And it seems it's a difficult situation that could be fairly easily remedied with. My understanding is it's not the state. My understanding is it's the county.
Well,
the state has relinquished. Go ahead.
Parking and time. Well, access. There's a lot of concerns to address access and parking and how that would work, and make sure that that others had.
But they have parking, they have walking corridors, they have all that. They still have all those stupid barricades, and they have people that move the barricades, so then it opens it and it closes it. It's please. This is how we heal. We heal by opening. We heal by moving forward. We don't heal by going to Lahaina and seeing barricades that say no pedestrians through traffic and having things closed off like that. We heal by moving forward, and we need progress a little quicker. Right now, it's like paddles are just kind of. Nobody's called. Are we ready? Let's go yet. It's like we're not even paddling. We're still sitting in the boat with our paddles there. We've taken a couple of warm-up strokes, but we haven't really.
Yeah, it's the
I hear the bell.
Time. That is Gary telling us at that time. So really quickly, are you going to be here for opening day, or sounds like you just made a walk around?
I did. I did my rounds on Friday.
Good.
It's too many people, too much going on, and I don't know. I don't find it as productive.
I hear you.
Yeah, and I love seeing everyone, but Well, you're going. I take it.
Yeah, see everybody and connect, but it's not the most. You're right. It's definitely not the most productive day for meetings, but that's why I'm here early too. So it's time to start connecting and finding out. And again, we're hoping that the governor's proclamation, his emergency proclamation, can allow more moorings and get more boats in, and we don't have to wait. But Dobar is working hard to get things moving. I'm not trying to disparage them. I know that they're working very hard, but again, we're in a crisis.
I have found Dobar to be really frustrated. Yeah, they're afraid to make the wrong move, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Ryan coming in when does he actually come into his position? Do you know?
I don't know. Yeah, but, well, Toni, I've loved having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks. Let's get together after you go to opening day. I want to hear how it was.
I will.
I'll have you over for that
definitely will,
lunch.
and we'll strategize.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Pam. Thanks for the opportunity to be on. Okay, aloha.
My great pleasure. Thank you. Aloha.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So much going on, so many things to be addressing, and I just love and really personally believe, for those who know me, I'm a big Aloha Spirit person, because I think it's a lifelong goal if you really understand the Aloha Spirit, and you can find it. It's written into state law. But to many people, I've recently had somebody say, well, that was just a tourism thing. And I said, well, I think you might want to reread the history. I may be wrong, but I've read it many times, that the Aloha Spirit came out of a governor's conference, and the goal was actually to help convey this Hawaiian spirit to those who would govern in the state of Hawaii. And the thought was that if our leaders governed with aloha, imagine the world that we would have and the way that they would govern in a way that benefited us all. So but it was, I want to also add, because somebody at one point said to me, well, that wasn't for you, right? They understood, and this was a Hawaiian leader who said, well, it wasn't for you. It was meant to sort of overarch and be infused throughout government, and to work with our government leaders to embody and embrace this spirit when creating legislation and the laws that impact us all. Except, as I shared, that it also knows in the state law, and as it was written by Auntie Palahipaki, who came up with this definition and description of the Aloha Spirit, but it was given to the people of Hawaii. And so I choose, as somebody who lives in Hawaii, I choose to embrace and adopt the Aloha Spirit. And as Toni shared, it is a spiritual thing for me. It is a way of being that I want to embody and embrace. And it has things in there that I may never achieve, like to hear what is not being said, to see what can't be seen, to know the unknowable. That's at a realm that I aspire to, but may or may not reach. But it won't be for lack of trying. But it's that spirit, as Toni was sharing. There's a spirit that she shared and that I learned as well when I first moved to Hawaii over 40 years ago, that is near and dear to my heart. And so, I hope we all get back to that time. We've gone through a lot, and we're continuing to go through a lot with the soft economy, but I hope we all get back to that time. So we are going to have Matt on with us, and Matt is here to talk to us about Habitat for Humanity. Matt is an amazing leader. He's been on the show before, and he has been with Habitat as the executive director for, let's see, this is a while ago, but it's been for 6 years. Maybe we're going on 7. And he was the executive director for the past 3. We might be going on 4 with the new year. He first started volunteering with Habitat for Humanity in Georgia when he was 16 years old, and clearly it touched his life. And he has been running Habitat for Humanity and doing amazing things during his tenure there. Good morning, Matt. Are you on the show?
I am, Pam. Good morning.
Good morning. It's so great to have you on. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. It's great to hear you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, when we last talked, you were having, we were still in 2025, and you had, you were rocking and rolling with some amazing results. You've been just running fast and furious after the wildfires to help us address our critical goal of housing and the loss of housing that occurred with the Lahaina wildfires. Tell us about where you ended the year and some of your amazing accomplishments.
Well, 2025 was really just the start of what's going to be an amazing time for Habitat for the next few years. It's when we started to meet the families that we were going to help get back into their homes. In 2025, we dedicated 2 homes. We put a family of 5 into their first home ever, and we had an auntie that was 81 years old into her first home that she's ever owned up in Kula. And we also we broke ground on 5 new homes or 5 rebuilds in Lahaina and are doing very well getting those done. We have partnered with some other nonprofits, Hawaii Community Lending, Ho'ola, the Long-Term Recovery Group, Lahaina Community Land Trust, and in collaboration with them, we got 31 people back into their homes that had been affected with smoke and ash remediation. We've been we hit the ground running in 2025, and we're not slowing down.
I love it.
Yep.
So tell us about 2026.
You asked for it, Pam. 2026 is going to be amazing. Like I mentioned, we dedicated 2 homes in 2025. And if things go as planned, we're going to be dedicating 9 homes in 2026.
You are always exceeding goals, and I love that.
Yep. And not only that, we are going to be, if everything holds, we'll be breaking ground on 18 new homes in 2026.
Oh, my goodness. That's tremendous. Well, first of all, I'm glad that you mentioned some of the remediation efforts, because I remember after the wildfires, there were some families who didn't lose their home. And because of desperate situations and, again, lack of housing and challenges that they faced, there were some moving into their home. When we were saying, and others were saying, well, there's still the ash and the smoke near them, and even if it wasn't in their home directly, with the wind and the way the wind was blowing, they were moving into homes that weren't safe. They at that point they didn't have appropriate masks, they didn't have appropriate breathing apparatus, the house hadn't been fully cleared of all of the materials that could be toxic to them. So I'm glad to hear also that you've really worked with families that are, that with some modifications quickly, they can move back in and have a safe home and environment for their family and children and grandchildren. That's tremendous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really in partnership with the other nonprofits, Pam, that we all have these funding sources that all have different eligibility and criteria, to be eligible for those funds. And by talking to all of the nonprofits on Maui, we're able to say, hey, if you guys can take out all of the bad stuff, we have money to put all of the good stuff back in. And it's just through just amazing partnerships that we've been able to help so many people.
I think it's tremendous. You've done an excellent job. You and your team are phenomenal. And I know that you do this with the help of so many volunteers, and as well as your networks and your partnerships. But how can people get involved and help you achieve these amazing goals for 2026 and beyond? Because people, once they get involved in Habitat, like you apparently, it sticks with them.
Yeah, it touches you. It touches your heart, and it touches you when you get to meet the families that we're helping. Just for instance, last week we had a group of 12 from the mainland that came, spent their hard-earned money, and they came for a week and built with us for an entire week. And it was amazing. So the ways to get involved, we have 3 kind of ways. You can come and buy our Restore, which I can touch on that a little bit. You can.
I love your Restore.
Yeah, I love our Restore too. Our Restore is located at 1162 Lower Main Street, and everything in the Restore is donated. So one way to help is to donate items to the Restore or to come and shop at the Restore. Every dollar spent goes towards building affordable housing here on Maui. The second way that you can help is you can help us build. We build Tuesday through Saturday. If you just call our office at 242-1140 or check out our website at habitat-maui.org, you can sign up for a time to come help us and volunteer in the Restore or volunteer on the job site. No experience is needed. In fact, our Justin, who is our supervisor of construction, likes to teach you how he likes to do it. So it's okay if you don't know how to do it. And then, of course, the third way is to just to donate monetarily. And again, you can go to our website, and every dollar, of course, is tax deductible. And it helps us to make sure that the housing is affordable. We, of course, those of us who live here know how expensive housing can be. And we're able, through the donation and philanthropic dollars, we're able to make them affordable. We're able to lower the costs, and through volunteer labor is expensive, and every volunteer hour helps them a lot.
It's tremendous, and I really hope that resonates with people. We were talking a little bit earlier, I don't know if you heard, about volunteer experiences, and in fact, we coined it volunteerism quite a while ago, but when we started with volunteerism, it didn't have a price tag on it. It just meant we appreciate you coming and helping us, and the joy people would have getting involved while they were here as tourists to volunteer and give back, because they're so appreciative for the experience, but also there's people who, we even have people who show up randomly at the Maui Maui County Festival and say, we're on island, can we volunteer at the event? And they're just so thrilled to help out. And of course, we always say, yes, absolutely, we're happy to have you. But to volunteer and build a house that people will have for a lifetime. And we all know how expensive housing is, and it's not getting any cheaper, to the extent that, most of our local families can't even afford to own a home at this point. So to have Habitat working together, bringing down the house prices, not only helping with Lahaina, but helping those in need of housing, and making that a reality, where without your help, it wouldn't be a reality. I just commend you and your team, and we want to thank all the volunteers who get involved. And there's so many ways you can get involved. And again, so many people don't have time. But we always say in the nonprofit world, you can give your time, your talent, or your treasure. So there's many different ways that you can get involved, either financially or sharing your talent with others and helping in that way if you don't have the time. So, Matt, you are just doing an amazing thing. Thank you so much for being on the show and sharing that with us. Love Habitat, quick restore story. I once had a beautiful plate that I bought at Pier 1, and I had it on a piece of furniture that I loved in a stand. And then I got a new piece of furniture, and I thought, gosh, I really wish I had 2 of those plates. And one day I was at the Habitat for Humanity Restore, and there was the exact same plate that I was able to buy. I will tell you, a bargain. I won't tell you what I paid, but it was a bargain. And it was in perfect condition at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. So you can also shop and get great treasures there too.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things, if you just stop by the Restore, there's always something special there. And I just want to go back and touch just for a second on the volunteerism.
Yeah.
It is a thing. We have so many people who come to Lahaina, Kaanapali, and when they see that we're helping, they drop what they're doing. They say, "No, I'll skip that boat tour. I want to go help." And it's so amazing. And when you think, I was listening a little bit earlier, Pam. And when you get our local community working next to the visitors, you get this amazing thing that our local families are like, wait a minute, you're taking time from your vacation to help build Uncle's house. And then at the same time, our visitors are like, I just met Kyoki. He's my new best friend, and I can't wait to go back to Maui and help him out. And I just really think that there's some aha moments, if you will, some breaking down of some barriers and some walls when we start working with our local community, working hand in hand with our visitors. It's so amazing, and it really just it's so refreshing.
I love that. Thank you so much, Matt. That's awesome, and it's so true. Well, on that note, folks, I hope you've gotten to hear a lot and learn a lot and appreciate some of the messaging that we're sharing today. Again, this is a place of aloha, and we want to spread it and share it and build those amazing relationships when we do. I hope you have a fantastic day. Join us again next Tuesday. Check out MauiChamber.com. We have a big Hawaiian Airlines luncheon coming up this Friday. And then we've got business coming up in February that we'll tell you more about later. In the meantime, as we're here at the legislative session, share the things that you'd like to see and join us next Tuesday. Ahui ho.